Okay, real quick, I'm gonna show a video on how I make these self-watering rack trays to help out so I don't have to water each individual one. You guys had asked for it. So here we go. Let me show you what I do. All right, first I get one of my boot trays that I also pot on sometimes, and get a plastic sheeting, a piece of plastic sheet, and I'm gonna wrap this tray in the plastic sheet and I'm gonna tape it underneath. I'll show you as soon as I'm done. All right, so it's gonna look kind of like that. I bought a whole roll of the plastic sheeting and I just cut it to size. I let it hang over a little bit on the ends just because I wanted it to. And then I masking taped it down, but you can use whatever tape. I guess if you don't even have to tape it down, you don't even have to make it this big. I just chose to. And then I got a roll of the, whoop, I just dropped it. A roll of the capillary mat, cut it down to fit each tray, laid it down on top of the mat like that, so it fits in there. And then I'm gonna put all my plants that I have to put on this right on here, put this up on the shelf, and then I'll show you the next thing I do. All right, so the last bit of my video about these watering mats, which is being filmed later because I didn't have to water that day, is I get my, whatever you're gonna use, measuring utensil, and I have my nutrient solution in the jugs here, and I pour it up to, I use 26 ounces for my regular racks, and I use about 30 ounces for the racks on top that have some of the bigger plants on it, that have the bigger pots on it. But for the regular ones, I'm using 26 ounces. You're gonna have to play with it probably. It's gonna depend on what your environment is and what type of plants you have on there and what you're doing. So anyway, I fill up my nutrient solution into my container and I bring it over. Please excuse the vermiculite. I have put beneficials down, but I just pour some of it on this side. I go over to the middle, I pour some into the middle, and then I go over to the end and I pour the rest into the end, just because I like to make sure there's even amounts of liquid around there. And it'll kind of just, it'll pull up a little bit, but it'll absorb by the mat and it'll evenly absorb. I sometimes like to tip it around just to make sure I can see the liquid going all over, because my mats aren't, or my shelves aren't exactly even here. But you can see even where it's pulled up a little bit back there, it's still nice and moist here. So it will just evenly absorb throughout. And I do that for each one of my shelves. And sometimes I do a little bit extra on the bottom if I have a lot of big plants down there because they're bigger pot size. And then down here, I just do a little bit, or I water individually because I have a lot of that going on. But that's how I'm doing it. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. Otherwise, happy growing, fam.